Hello and welcome to part 11 of the Draft Day St. Louis Spirits video thing. I actually completed most of the season, which as you can see on the bottom left, currently 67 and 14. I actually completed it a little while ago, but a funny thing happened, which is it's been storming nonstop, and I have a dog that barks a lot, so I haven't gotten to the actual recording part for a while. But currently it's just raining, and he's kind of on drugs right now, so probably should be good right now. But like as you see, 67 and 14, this is a good team. Not necessarily going to be a team that wins the home court throughout the entire playoffs. Have locked down the one seed in the West, which is good, but the Atlanta Hawks are actually a half game ahead of us entering this final game. I believe that with at least with the tiebreakers that are currently in the NBA, the tiebreaker goes to whoever has the first tiebreaker is head to head, which we actually split the games 1-1 throughout the season, and then opposing conference record, which I believe if we were to win this game, we would have a slightly better conference record. So I think this game matters. So we actually do have like the actual full complement of players going. Let's look through the transactions that we've made this season. Actually made a decent number of transactions in the somewhat kind of early part. So this may have been last video. I don't even remember, but we had some guys who were signed automatically by the computer that I ended up waiving. They were league minimum guys, so it's not going to really matter that much. But I replaced them with Derek Harper, Greg Anderson, who'd been on the team previously. And that projected profit is pretty strong, considering that we're just like spending out of our minds. But got Alvin Robertson back to the team as well as a real lockdown defensive shooting guard. Mark Eaton was signed as a backup center. Just wanted to kind of just bolster the depth. Signed extensions. So I re-signed Scottie Pippen as well for the league minimum. He's kind of been a little bit of a disappointment. Has never become a starter, but so be it. Signed extensions for Hakeem Olajuwon and Chris Mullin, who are the two kind of core guys on this team. I think it's possible, depending how this offseason goes, we might be in a position where Hakeem is expendable. And that is because, and I'll show you in a second, but because of the draft coming up. But in January, at some point, we had some injuries. I waived Isaac Austin, who was just kind of a whatever player, and signed Herb Williams. So let's look to the mock draft. So we actually are currently in position to get the number 2 pick from the Bulls, which the mock draft has us getting Alonzo Mourning, but Shaquille O'Neal's the pick after that. So, even if the Rockets are sensible and draft one of the centers, I wouldn't exactly say no to Alonzo Mourning. But, if we get Shaq especially, like, how are we not going to put Shaq in the lineup? That's not a protected pick. It's actually a pick swap. So, and the Bulls have the second worst record in the NBA, and we have the currently second best, could end up being first best. But yeah, that swap's going to happen. So let's take this game against the Bucks, who are not a very good team. I did adjust this a little bit so that I have Mark Eaton in the rotation instead of Herb Williams. It's not a huge difference maker, honestly. Lineup still runs a little bit small, but team is okay. So a minute 20 left. Only a 1-point lead, despite the fact that we are playing our best players and we're playing against... Okay, volume's a little loud on the TV, so we'll turn that down a little bit. Put it at 12. Obviously, I have to stop off at an even number.
Anderson against Harper.
See, just catch some basketball.
Here's Robinson. I missed that time. Would have put him up.
It's not getting much easier than that, but somehow he came up empty there.
Here's Richmond. The kick out to Harper. Driving to the basket. Outside, Mullin hands the three.
Nice shot, Chris.
Cash money right there.
Well, if he's feeling the pressure, he's not.
Chris Mullin's an interesting case. He's a guy who, coming into this summer in real life, ends up on the dream team and is absolutely having a better NBA career in this kind of re-sim than he did in real life.
No fear, no hesitation.
Like, he was a lesser member of the dream team, but probably is one of the big guys at the forefront. Maybe let's look at the roster to see who would be the dream team in this alternate universe.
Here's Mullin. And that hurts as he doesn't get the first one to
Somewhat
fall.
ugly
Trying to
miss there by
focus now on the
Mullen.
second. St. Louis making a switch here. Hardaway's checked in. Sean Kemp, he's checked in for Milwaukee. Johnson comes in for Bose. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. The Bucks call time.
Right. Do we have any timeouts left? Oh, it's right on the screen. Okay, we do have a timeout left, so that could come in handy if we get a defensive rebound to try to get the ball in the hands of a better free throw shooter. Let's see what our defensive lineup looks like right now. Who's our best free throws? So Mullen's definitely going to be our best free throw shooter, and he's also on our defensive lineup, so that's easy enough. It's a strong group right there.
Robertson, he's checked in for Richmond.
Tim Hardaway and Mitch Richmond are guys who were first overall picks in this universe who are good NBA players. And team famously with Chris Mullen at that, but not necessarily number one overall kind of guys to me. Not great number one overall, certainly.
17 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. They get the rebound. No good with
Man,
the
Akeem
layup.
whiffed there.
And they stop the clock as soon as they can with the intentional foul.
Okay.
Hey, that's the right
Wasn't
play.
quick enough to call a timeout, but at least got the ball to Derek Harper.
Hoping for a missed free throw or two. Every point is crucial here.
He's not Mullen, but he's a good free throw
That gives them a
shooter.
4-point cushion. And he hits both free throws here.
He does something that Chris Mullen didn't, which is go 2 for 2.
Composure from the
I'm actually not
line
even
there.
positive that this
Those
is going to give
shots
us
sealed.
home court in the finals against the Hawks, which we'll see if the situation even plays out.
No good. Shot missing.
There we go.
So it's St. Louis winning this one. It was tight there at the end, but they were able to give this.
Pretty well-rounded in the box score. 16's our leading scorer. You know, Hakeem pulled out 19 rebounds. Pretty crazy. Rick Fox, I believe, did not play a single minute this season. I might double-check that later. Len Bias wins Most Valuable Player, which is the... How many straight MVPs is that for Bias? He's gotten several, I believe. He's gotten 2 MVPs. He's been first-team All-NBA 5 years in a row, and his rookie year, he was second team. Larry Johnson gets Rookie of the Year. Vernon Maxwell, 6th player. Back to the DPOYs for Hakeem. He had... actually might have gotten removed from his award history, which is a shame because definitely a good defensive player. We can check that later if we need to. Antonio Davis gets Most Improved. The Hawks get the awards. All right, so Magic and Michael get the guard. First teams, Len Bias, Karl Malone, David Robinson. Get a pretty good preview of the guys who are, 4 of these 5 guys, I believe, were on the Dream Team. Plus Bias, obviously, was not. Hakeem Olajuwon gets to the All-NBA second team, which he had taken a year off of being on the All-NBA teams, but it's nice to see him make a little bit of a bounce back here. All-NBA third team, we don't have anybody there. We have Reggie Miller, Johnny Dawkins, Xavier McDaniel, Hot Rod Williams, Patrick Ewing. All defensive team, there's our guy, Hakeem, number 1. Grant Long managed to get on there. He's a former member of was he on the Spirits? Definitely the guy like Grant Long. He was not. Okay. And then Ron Harper, Chris Morris, Karl Malone, Xavier McDaniel, David Robinson for the second team. All rookie teams weren't really contending for this title this year, but we had Larry Johnson, Bob McDaniel, Kenny Anderson, Dikembe, Stacey Augmon, and then Billy Owens, Alvaro Temple, who I'm not familiar with, Steve Smith, Terrell Brandon, and Richard Dumas. And there we are in the 1 seed against Utah. All right, so we'll just keep the rotation we had last game. These guys have little fatigue things next to their names, but I suspect that's because they just played a game that'll change. All right, let's take down Utah. Dikembe is obviously a threat, but Hakeem's matched up against him. This should work out. It was a close game for game 1, but got the W. Mitch Richmond leading scorer. Anderson and Olajuwon both got double-doubles. All right, 15-point first. Okay, looking like a pretty robust lead. Yeah, that's going to work out. Spirits easily taking 2. Yeah, I mean, Chris Mullen, I feel like his scoring has gone down a little bit. Yeah, his scoring is only at 17.3 this season, which is fewest since his second year, which is, not the best considering just extended him, but also this is a pretty loaded team. So it's not like we're counting on one guy to put up some huge number of points. All right, so the Spirits, tough second quarter, keeping the game close, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and get the sweep here. Got the Mavericks next round. And they had some good players on this team. They had Reggie Miller, Gary Payton, Dikembe Mutombo. Like that's pretty strong, but he took care of them. Hakeem took care of business. 74% attendance. I mean, I know that probably nobody thought the Jazz were going to win this series, but that is a little bit foreboding. I know that sometimes in these simulations, it gets to a point where the the fan base really doesn't show up. Like even for good teams, you're at like 60%. That's usually the number they fall at. So it looks like all the top seeds other than San Antonio won in the first round. So could have an interesting layout to the rest of this playoff. Shout out to the men's Final Four that starts tonight, which has 4 number 1 seeds. And I'm excited about because it's going to be some sick games. I don't particularly like the teams, but take what you can get. Won the first game here. Hakeem 26-13. That's my guy right there. Old Ron Harper just continues to be a presence. All right, we got a close one here. All right, let's jump in. Let's just secure the bag for game 2. In theory, they should foul, but it's not necessarily the game's broken if they don't sort of situation.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. Anderson passes to Hardaway. Harper against Dumars.
Yeah, I'm happy to kill some time, but I'm also going to, if I get an easy bucket, I'm going to take it.
Hardaway to the middle.
Oh, that was a bad pass there.
McGuire kicks to Harper. Fires from deep. Good.
Okay, I don't know what Anderson was doing there. Do I have a timeout? Okay, let's call the timeout. Let's.
To bring them within 1.
3-pointers clearly the difference for them here in the second half.
I want to set the defense, and I want to get the ball to Chris Mullen.
They've got it going.
Hopefully, they don't have Mullen being the guy taking the inbound. Okay, he's not. So.
And now an intentional foul. They need the ball back as soon as possible.
Well, it was a must-foul situation. They were hoping for somebody not quite so good at the line.
4
And
points.
that's a good job from the
Yikes.
offense to get it into his hands.
14% field goal percentage.
To their shooter.
And so he
Makes the free throws where it counts, so that's
And they
That's
needed
positive.
those free throws right here. At worst, the opposition ties it with a 3 now.
Timeout, Mavs. Turning here to our analysts, what factors, guys, come to your mind?
This is a tricky situation. I mean, they need to get some kind of bucket to stay alive. They got to do it fast, though.
Either a 3-pointer or score quickly and take the foul.
Dumars misses.
Mullen getting the rebound is just, that's poetry right there.
Foul to stop the clock.
A couple of misses here, and they could be back
And they need to hit one of the 2 to secure the win.
That gives them a 4-point cushion.
That's all we need.
Second one.
I'm not going to argue with the second one.
At the line, and it's a 5-point game.
That is how you end it. Sink them all. Don't leave any doubt.
And so it's St. Louis winning this one. It's time for us to say goodbye. We hope you've enjoyed our second.
All right, Mitch Richmond was carrying the offensive load. What was, 1 for 7? That is an icky game. Huh, okay. Actually, I'm a little surprised. Like, 'cause this team really hasn't, I mean, Chris Mullen's been fine, but the team doesn't necessarily have like a Michael Jordan-like sort of like offensive threat. Like Hakeem obviously is an offensive player, but he's more defensive than offensive. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting greedy here. All right, we have a real battle here brewing at, I believe it was Reunion Arena. I believe was the name of the arena. All right, we have Hakeem at the line, which if we end up replacing him with Shaq, I will miss having him at the line instead.
So the first one drops,
There we go.
and that will put them up by 2. Bowl, he's checked in for the Mavericks. Tisdale comes in for Ron Harper. And St. Louis
Nice.
also making a change. Richmond, who's checked in for Derek Harper.
Yeah, I would definitely
He
rather
missed
have the
chance
possession
to
than the
put 'em up
point
by
there.
3. You know he'd like to have that one back.
And plenty of contact on the shot. So 2 free throws coming up.
Tim Hardaway has a really
Kind of
nice
milked
skill
going
set.
for the shot there.
Double-double threat thanks to his scoring and dime-dropping ability.
He hits the first one, and that makes it a 3-point lead. And the second free throw, no good. A tough break there.
Hard workers are an invaluable part of any team. And that's definitely something he brings to the table. He really hustles out there.
Here's Tisdale. Fades back. That misses off the backboard. Clark, this is an important possession here.
Under pressure, we'll see how well they execute now.
Here's Anderson.
An undeniable jam.
There we go.
No way of stopping it.
32 seconds left to play in the final quarter.
You know, every second is crucial at this point. They need a quick bucket for sure.
Then they can
All
try
right.
for a steal on the inbounds, but if they don't
5
get it, foul
points,
immediately.
29.3 seconds. We're probably safe. But since they're going to call a timeout, I think I'm going to go ahead and put in the defensive lineup.
Robertson, he's checked in for St. Louis. Harper comes in for Hardaway. It's time now to hear from our Hall of Fame reporter, David Aldridge. What's the latest, David?
Well, during the last break, Kevin, I got a chance to listen to the head coach of the Mavericks talk with his team. He challenged his team. He said they're not going to give
Nice
us
little
this
play by
one.
June
We
Mars
have to
there.
Take it from him, starting now.
They don't love
message
that,
resonated. Kevin?
Thank you, David.
Don't love that
Kenny
Mullen
commits
was the one
intentional foul.
inbounding the ball.
And the first
Really don't love it now.
And he ends
Okay.
up making the second, and that gives them a 4-point
Got one.
cushion. And so here is Dallas. Winslow wide open. He fires, and a miss there on the triple. And they need to stop the clock, so there's a foul.
Early into his night. But you know what? I don't know that they can come back no matter who's on the court.
And
Man.
no good as the first
Free throws are
throw
not falling
missing
right
for him.
now.
We'll see if he can nail the second. That's good, going 1 of 2
Okay.
from the line, and that puts them up by 5.
If they don't hit a 3 here, I'll feel pretty safe.
Mullen against Winslow. Offensive rebound. And out of bounds is St. Louis.
Wow,
State's
that
possession.
was... Glad there wasn't I guess a ton of contact there, but yeah, forcing the turnover. You know, don't love, of course, that Chris Mullen is inbounding it, but 4 seconds left, should be fine. And got back to Chris Mullen anyway. Yeah, I'm just going to mess around. Okay,
And
got the
so
win.
It's St. Louis winning this one. Well, that'll do it, folks. Glad you could join us for the Western Conference semifinals.
Yeah, it looks like on the other side of the bracket, Washington has a 3-0 lead on Atlanta, which means Michael Jordan, to be clear. But Detroit swept the Knicks, so it could be that home court advantage isn't actually going to matter. Mavericks have a little bit of a lead here. Ooh, we have a real nail biter. Okay, so a 5-point lead with a minute 15 left. Let's jump in. Let's finish this round. This would be an interesting round because it would be a 4-game sweep, but the Mavericks have held their own in each individual game.
Outside Harper.
Oh boy,
That one in the St. Louis lead has been cut down to 3.
is that
and the
Anderson
bucket
out there?
for the
Whoever that
line.
was got cooked.
Yes, sir. Aguirre is that man.
Hardaway passes to Elijah. Hardaway kicks to Robertson.
That was Alvin Robertson, former Defensive Player of the Year in real life. Alvin Robertson.
These offenses have been
At least he can get a
sharp,
bucket.
so focused, so dialed in, and neither one is slowing down in the late game.
If anything, I think they're gaining momentum. Both determined to run up the score.
Oh, there's a defensive play that we know and love.
Outside Hardaway. Back to Elijah. And it's Elijah.
That is fantastic team basketball going down the court
I
there.
think if they get a couple stops, this game is toast.
Suddenly it's a 7-point game with
They've
40
got to
seconds
get
left.
points in bunches and in a
Feels
hurry.
good.
Yeah, and a lot of luck. It would be very difficult for them to get back into this one.
And here's Harper from the arc.
Having to go against a 7'7" guy is not my favorite experience.
He knew.
Do I have a timeout? I kind of want to get Mullen in the game. Yep, okay.
Fantastic play.
St. Louis calls timeout.
Let's see what Mitch Richmond's... Okay, Mitch Richmond is a little worse defensively, but is a much better free throw shooter. Still going to go for Mullen, but it's nice to have a backup in case they have him inbounding. Okay.
Got the intentional foul. He drops the first one, and that increases their lead to 6. And a tough break.
I don't know why I can't hit 2 consecutive free throws, but
No time to waste here.
6-point game.
Fast right now.
No room for error. They need to execute.
Down low.
Some Harper on Harper action.
Got it. And
Derek
now they
Harper,
trail
the
by just
former
4.
Maverick,
Nice
but
vision by Aguirre.
on the Spirits
Creating
here.
an easy scoring opportunity by finding the open man.
And an intentional foul there stops the clock.
Didn't really set up the free throws like I should have. Not sure if I just spaced out there, but
Yeah, all they can do is send them to the line and hope.
Derek
for
Harper's
some
been the one
misses.
guy that's been hitting 2 for 2 for me.
And so both free throws
All
are
right,
good.
ratings
It's
be
a
damned, he
6-point
gets
ball
there.
game.
Unflappable. This guy relishes being the man to put the game away.
Dallas calls timeout. 12 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. And
Team
what's
has
their best
slowed to a
move at this
crawl.
point?
Look, the game's not quite done yet, but they need points right away.
Can't make one mistake here. Have to act fast.
Twelve seconds left in the fourth. Dumars misses, and they go to the intentional foul.
Yeah, unfortunately, not the timeout, so we're stuck with Anderson shooting free throws. I don't think he's terrible. I think I nailed that one.
Makes it a 7-point lead. Second free throw.
Seven. It's a
No good
3-possession
that
game with
time.
6
He
seconds
really
left. I
wanted
think
that
we got
one.
this one. Game.
The series has been won.
Spirits advanced to the Western Conference Finals on the strength of Mitch Richmond, Hakeem Olajuwon. Got a double-double from Greg Anderson and from Tim Hardaway, so that's cool. You know, let's see what happens the rest of the simulate round. Okay, so yep, it is a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4 in the playoffs, and yeah, we're gonna have home court. I know we played the Sonics before. Xavier McDaniel's just like a god in this game. Okay, yeah, pulled away a little bit there. Got some good numbers. Yeah, I'm amazed. Jack Sikma feels like he should be retired by now, but it's 36. Like, that's how old I am. So I guess I'm not allowed to say he's that old. But let's see what happens here. Yeah, that Detroit-Washington series in the East is going to be interesting because it's going to still be most of the, like, bad boys, but get a little older. All right, we got this win pretty well wrapped up. Or you have a Washington team that's ruled by Michael Jordan. All right, yeah, this series so far. Oh, tough second round for the Sonics. Oh, Sonics are okay. Yeah, not quite in the we're going to make a comeback range. So, drop game 3. So far, the home team, I believe, has won every game in both conference finals. Hopefully, we can steal one so we don't have to go 7. There we go. Nice little pull away there. Hakeem and Mitch Richmond. Yeah, the descent of Chris Mullen is really, considering he was the one that extended, not my favorite thing in the world, but let's see if they can come back and get this win here. Okay, so we have a 4-point lead. Let's jump in. 46 seconds left. This is to advanced to the NBA Finals. Xavier McDaniel, who else? Shooting for Seattle. Got the little injury thing.
First free throw is good, and that narrows the lead down to just 3. Hardaway's checked in for St. Louis. Both good from the line that time.
Cool as a cucumber as he knocks down all his free throws. Great job getting them to go when it counts.
Well, Coach, no reason to hurry here.
With the lead, they want to milk the clock a bit and shorten this game.
Now, here is Mullen. Back to Anderson. Good.
I was kind of hoping I would draw a foul there, but I'll take the 2 points. That'll work. That does it for me. So
That takes real guts. I think this whole arena was holding its breath.
Timeout, Sonics.
defensive lineup.
Some changes here for St. Louis.
Let's hold these guys down.
He's checked in for Richmond, and Derek Harper has subbed in for Jim Hardaway. Now off the inbound, and it's Greer missing. They're going to prolong the game here with an intentional foul.
Let's put down.
He had to stop.
Do they have timeouts? Can't remember if this is a timeout situation. Regardless, I can call it there. So
Just let the other team drain the clock when it's close like this.
And he misses the first one. Boy, he wanted that one to fall. And the second of two
there we go.
is good. That puts them up
5-point game.
There's 21 seconds
Seattle,
left
if
in the
they're
fourth
smart,
quarter.
will go for
They've got to get a quick
3
basket.
here.
They need to get busy in a hurry.
Score and then foul to stop the clock.
Martin for 3. It
All right.
drops.
Well, it took slightly more time than they wanted, but otherwise, hard to argue with the possession there for Seattle. All right, get it
There's
into
10
Mullen.
seconds
There
left
we
in the
go.
fourth quarter, and now they foul and stop the clock.
Well, it was a must-foul situation.
Right, Chris,
They
you
were
hit both of
hoping for
these.
Somebody not quite so good at the line.
That would be lovely.
Good job from the
All right, number
offense
1 is
getting
good.
it to his hands. They knew the foul was coming and got it to their shooter.
So he
There we
goes 2
go.
for 2 at the line, and it's
4
a 4-point
points.
ball game.
I think it's a wrap. When the game's on the line, he knows how to deliver the crushing blow.
There's Brown with
Going
the
full
3.
jump around
They
for the
get it
ball
back.
kind of game.
Great
Okay.
activity level
Obviously, he
on the
hits the
boards.
2 there, but
Impressive. Wow.
I'm sure they're going to still foul here. But
And that's an intentional foul.
all right, 7 seconds left. This thing should be pretty well over, even if he doesn't hit free throws.
Gets the first, and that makes it a 3-point lead.
So I know that John Calipari tried making the case for intentionally missing while up 3. I think that's stupid, though.
So he gets them both.
I mean, wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world, like maybe scrambling, but also they're down 4, so they're scrambling anyway. This game's over. On to the Western Conference Finals.
They'll move on.
We shall go.
Challenging slate of games in the Western Conference. They were certainly tested, but that prepares them for what lies ahead.
From day one, this was their goal. Make it to the finals. But really, this is just the beginning for them.
They know there's still a lot of work to be done preparing mentally and physically for an excellent team.
That
coming
Derek
out
Harper
of
holding up
the
the trophy.
East.
Scottie
It's gonna
Pippen, I kind of
take
forget he's on the team
everything they
sometimes,
have
but
to accomplish
there's
their
Scotty.
ultimate goal.
Still, they get to celebrate.
Future former Spirit. Chris Mullen led the team in scoring. Okay, that's nice little jump back, and also was the guy that made the shots that locked things down. So let's see what happens in that other series. Oh, Washington came all the way back. Okay, so it's gonna be the Washington Bullets. Let's see who's on the Bullets. I know Jordan, obviously. Who else is? So Vernon Maxwell, who's hurt. I mean, if he was right knee dated, he'll be fine. I mean, honestly, other than Jordan, kind of underwhelming. You know, also the fact that Vernon Maxwell is, plays the same position. So like between Jordan, Maxwell, and Johnny Newman, kind of there's a redundancy there. And you look at Tripucka's hurt. He would be that team is really, so the normal ratings, Jordan obviously is a 98. He's Michael Jordan. Maxwell would be a 90, Tripucka would be an 89. They should probably invest in like a real power forward because it's kind of just Purvis Ellison out there. And I guess you have Horace Grant, who, granted, obviously he won championships with Michael Jordan. And then Spud Webb, the undersized former St. Louis Spirit. Kind of bounced around a little bit, it looks like. But yeah, I'm not super worried about this team. I mean, obviously, It's Michael Jordan. You don't want to take it for granted, but I feel like the Spirits walk in here as like definitive favorites. I'm not saying it would be the biggest upset ever, but this team's favorites. Oh man, we have a real battle here. All right, minute 33 left. Let's jump in.
Washington with the ball.
Jordan looks pretty good in that Bulls jersey. I'm not gonna lie.
St. Louis lead has been cut down to just 1 on the basket from Jordan.
It is a given. Jordan loves delivering in these big moments. When it's an important possession, he wants the ball.
In theory, Alvin Robertson would be a pretty good player to have to guard him. Oh, that's a ruffle move there by Harper. Nearly just surrendered the possession.
Anderson dishes to Harper. Mullen with the 3. Rebound, Washington. Now, here's Jordan.
All right, how did... I know it's Michael Jordan, but how did they let him get that open? That is some real turnstile defense there. Okay. Someone going to grab the ball, or... Okay, there we go. And clock stopped. I'm not going to like lose possession, but that's weird. But
6 on 3-point attempts here in the 4th. Hardaway passes to Mullen. Anderson outside. Pass to Hardaway. And contact on the shot. So
good defense by Spud there.
The quickness of Hardaway. It makes Tim a tough defensive assignment.
He sinks.
Get a layup and it's going to force him to actually hit free throws. Gets the first one.
Richmond's checked in, and a switcher also for Washington.
All right, hits free throws. Good process, mediocre result for Spud Webb.
Well, I'll tell you this: in a close game, you love having a guy like him with the.
Not sure they necessarily want to go for the all-defense look here. Yeah, I'm just going to go with whatever the computer throws at me. I mean, my normal starters are pretty good defensive players anyway, so that's okay.
What a coach wants to see is a good shot. It's important they convert here.
Here's Jordan. It's to Webb. 29 seconds left in the game. Grant the pass to Maxwell. He takes it in. That shot, no good. And Coach
there we go.
Appreciate the ball distribution has been terrific in this one.
Yeah, they've showed how efficient their offense can be when they're this unselfish.
Yeah, I'd rather not let Michael Jordan get the ball down 2. Down 3's not my favorite either, but there's a gap there. All right, now I think we're in full defensive mode. We still have a timeout left because we got the ball to Mullen organically last time.
What do you think we're going to see coming out of this timeout?
I think if they leave
if Washington hits a 3, we can advance the ball, save for the last shot. We're in good shape here. Plus a fully rested Alvin Robertson, not the worst thing in the world.
16 seconds left in the 4th quarter. It counts.
Wide open. Of course, Mullen's taking the inbound. Okay. Get to Harper. Didn't feel like it was worth calling a timeout for that. But
and there's the intentional foul. No choice but to stop the clock here.
Yeah, that's a good play. I mean, fouling there in hopes of staying alive in this one. That's the right play.
They need every second they can get at this point. Do whatever they can to come back.
And you hate to have a player foul out, but their depth could be an asset here, helping them weather his absence.
Washington calls timeout.
So somebody fouled out there. I can't tell who that was. I'm sure it wasn't Jordan, right? No, it wasn't. It was Spud. Okay. I mean, there were some other guys who were fouled out too, but Spud, well, obviously is. You just saw him out there.
11 seconds left to play here in the 4th. Grant with a screen on Olajuwon. To the inside. It's off.
There we go. Nice defense. Derek Harper guarding a big man down low. That's what pulls out the victory. Spirits go up 1-0.
That's a wrap for the first game of the NBA Finals.
Things are growing more comfortable so far. Oh, the Bullets making a comeback, though. All right, we got this one. They fought. You got to give them credit for fighting there. But yeah, 22-16 from Akeem. MJ, of course, the leading scorer for Washington. Big early lead here for the Spirits. Yeah, there it is. Okay. 121-105. 25 points from Jordan. 26-15 from Hakeem. I think Hakeem is like pretty clearly going to be Finals MVP at this rate. Let's kind of get a refresher in the league history of what the NBA Finals. So Chris Mullins won the last 3. As we go for the 5-peat. Still haven't won one at home. And if we win this next game, still aren't going to. That's just funny. Bullets are fighting for this. Oof. 40 seconds left. Let's just try to win a championship on the road once again. But kind of reminds me of the 2013 World Series when it became this big galvanizing story of, oh, Boston's going to win their first World Series at home for so long. It's like, who cares?
34 seconds left here in the fourth quarter.
Well, there's still an opportunity to get back, but it will not be easy.
Yeah, they need scores and stops here to close the gap.
Here's Harper. It's in. He has tied up this
nice
game.
play there by
What a
Derek
shot.
Harper.
Talking about much in the clutch. Great to see him come through right there.
Big time.
So we do have a
shot for
timeout.
sure. That's got to help his confidence as well.
So if we're in a position where we want to
Washington
call a
calls
timeout, we can switch out our personnel. But for now, so I guess Alvin Robertson is either fouled out or hurt. Kind of curious now. It seems unlikely that he would have fouled out. He had 15 minutes. Oh, it's 6 fouls. Okay, yeah. I guess I'd rather that, but it is a little confusing.
Maxwell's checked in. And St. Louis also making a change. Williams
Let's remember to not just instinctively call a timeout if they miss a shot and we get it back. It's possible we're going to just want to get points in transition, but we'll see what happens.
Where to go with it.
Looks like they're going to just wait for the last shot, though. Oh,
Offline.
Trying to make something
rough
happen
foul
They
there.
have to be aggressive at this point, even if it's risking a foul.
Yeah, would have been better.
At least he didn't make the free throw or the field goal. Okay.
Have to come one way or another.
Not as easy as people think
All right,
it is to
let's
keep
call
your
a timeout.
focus when there's so much
Switch out our personnel.
riding on these free throws. Excellent work in the clutch.
Unless we're just really not able to make something happen, I'm just going for the tie here. I'm not going to try to
Look, they've got more than
win the
enough time to
championship
get
on a buzzer beater, though that would be pretty fun.
The defense doesn't want to foul.
6 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Mullen kicks to Olajuwon. And they tie. Oh, he couldn't make that shot go to force overtime.
Yeah, didn't quite have enough time to get back, square up for a better shot, but Washington gets the win, so now we're going to go home and try to win a championship in St. Louis, that thing that everybody in the entire country is going to hear so much about. And they're losing, so that might not even happen, but okay, making a comeback. Ooh. Oh, boy. All right, 6-point lead, minute 17 left. It's a nice fourth quarter here from the Spirits. Let's finish this up and let's watch the crowd go absolutely nuts when we get a championship.
There's 1:17 left to play in the final quarter. Hardaway
You
dishes
see a
the
guy in the
ball.
crowd wearing a Wizards jersey. Speaking of Wizards,
Anderson right side.
Oh,
Jordan with
that's
the
a
steal.
bad turnover, and obviously that's my fault. I'm not
Even with an
gonna get mad at the computer for that one, but
lot of ground to make up.
not a great possession from Washington either.
Now here's Harper. Pass to Anderson. St. Louis moving the ball around. Mullen up top. And an intentional foul right there. St. Louis making a switch here.
That's a weird decision to intentionally foul there. I mean, at that point, they were running kind of low on the shot clock. Either foul early or don't foul at all, and now it's just going to give them more time. We'll just give an absolutely clear path to Chris Mullen. 8-point lead, 40 seconds left.
Now for St. Louis.
I mean, congrats on the timeouts, I guess, but that's pretty much the only thing Washington really has going for them right now.
Let's get your take, guys. What's the strategy?
It's going to be tough. They've got to get a quick hoop and then foul right away.
I'm sure that's what they're talking about. It's their only chance.
Full defensive line. There we go.
It's a distant one.
Some changes here for St. Louis. Robertson, he's checked in for Richmond. And Derek Harper has subbed in for Hardaway. Maxwell against Mullen. Pass to Maxwell. Here's the three. St. Louis with the rebound.
Not what we expected at all. He normally has that shot down cold.
Especially when he's got
Are the Bulls
space
just
like
conceding
that.
here? Because 8 points? Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm going to run it down and have like 4 seconds left.
Outside Mullen. Shot clock at 5. Here's Harper. Uses the glass to drop it in.
10 point. Yeah, that's a winner. In the words of a different St. Louis guy, let's just behold the ceremony.
And they've done it. The new NBA champions. All the travel, all the practices, all the meetings, all the games, wins and losses, the emotion, the exhaustion, culminating into tonight.
And whenever you win the NBA championship, there is a level of accomplishment and excitement that really can't be matched. Pretty amazing to have accomplished this goal.
The celebration is here, and this place is going crazy.
Yeah, Hakeem went 24 and 12 in the clincher. There we are, 5-time champions in a row. St. Louis Spirits. Hakeem, Finals MVP. How long is this video at right now? 42 minutes and 9 seconds. Okay, yeah, let's call it a wrap on this version. I don't want to have to go up against time limits. But yeah, there it is. Spirits have once again won, and now we're going to have an off season that we have to see exactly what we're going to do going forward. But there we go. Thank you for watching.